Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Bob Martin. I'm the President, CEO of the Imagine America Foundation. I want to welcome all of our visitors to the fourth year of the IAF Career College Exposition webinar programs, where we have now produced and distributed more than 150 webinars, with our total viewers and listeners now surpassing 5,000 local educators and counselors. To our continuing listeners, thank you for your continued support. We really do appreciate it. For our new listeners, welcome, and we hope you're going to find today's session informative for your students. I'm excited about today's topic, exploring career-based education and careers, sponsored by the Refrigeration School, also known as RSI. Located in Phoenix, Arizona, RSI is a 23-year partner of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 1,500 enrolling Imagine America students. If you'd like to have more information on our scholarship programs and how to help your students apply for the scholarship to attend this school, visit our website at www.imagineamerica.org, or you can call or email myself or Lauren Cunningham at the information provided on our website. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country, desperately looking for qualified employees. We need to simply do more. Our partner in today's session is the Refrigeration School. Our guests will be discussing this country's never-ending need for skilled, job-ready, and certified welders, HVACR mechanics, and electrical technicians. Joining us today to discuss in detail the looming shortage and how RSI is helping to meet this shortage is Tamara Walp. Tamara is the Director of High School Admissions at the Refrigeration School and has been working with high schools in higher education for many, many years. So you're in very good hands. Before turning the program over to Tamara, let me very quickly outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, and that will include questions and answers. Once we finish these remarks, we're going to move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 10:25 a.m., we're going to present any and all questions offered by the participants. We'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses in follow-up emails. We're going to have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. So without taking any more time away from today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Tamara. Tamara, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Like you mentioned, I am the Director of High School Admissions for RSI. You might notice on this first screen, we have Stratitech, a family of schools, and that's because about 15 years ago, Tulsa Welding School and RSI merged together as one. So we all fall under the umbrella of Stratitech. We just didn't change our name because actually RSI, coming up in just a few weeks, we will be celebrating our 60th year anniversary. That's right, we've been around 60 years here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and our sister schools or our other partnering locations, we all offer welding, electrical, and HVAC refrigeration programs. So we've got the original Tulsa Welding School out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've got Dallas and Houston, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, and we're excited to announce we'll be opening a new campus later this year in Atlanta, Georgia. So we continue to grow to help meet the demands of the industries that we train in and to help students not only train in the area that they're looking to get skilled in, but also to travel, or they can stay close to home, but it's great to provide those options. So the employment landscape has shifted. As Bob had mentioned here early on, there is a huge demand for these areas, and there's not a lot of skilled population to meet that demand. So that's where we come in, and we love what we do because we get to teach students in a very different environment. You know, there is some students are set out for traditional college, and that's their path. And we meet the needs for a lot of those students that aren't going that direction, or maybe going into career paths that don't require degrees. So we're able to, in a quick amount of time, 6 to 9 month time frame, train students and then actually help place them in the field. Next. These are also all extraordinary opportunities in the sense that these are essential and in demand. So when I'm out talking with students at schools and talking about some of these opportunities, I highlight, what does essential mean? It means we can't live without it. It's a need, especially out here in Arizona. Of course, HVAC's the first thing that comes to mind, air conditioning, but temperature control. And a lot of students don't realize the depth in each of these industries. When I first started working for RSI, I literally thought welding involved oil rigs and, the oil industry. Had no idea it includes the, aerospace side of it, fabrication, structural infrastructure. Same thing with HVAC refrigeration. Most of us as consumers think of it as air conditioning, which is a huge part of the industry, but it's also the refrigeration side. So it's walk-in freezers, ice makers, refrigeration units, electrical. That's one of the fastest growing, especially among the high school population. And those of you listening in today, high school counselors or instructors, probably nodding your head and agreeing. Yes, a lot of students want to become electricians. It's a high demand field. And within that, there's commercial, there's residential, there's industrial. So we're happy to be able to provide robust training in all of these areas, which are really extraordinary for students because we have a huge, very high placement rate. And that is the whole intention of the program, is to get our students hired in these industries. Next. We truly believe that education changes lives. So we now offer a hybrid program, which allows students to come to campus a couple days a week and then also be able to do some remote learning. But rather than just logging in on a computer, which most of us kind of equate to online learning, we've integrated some new technology, including the Oculus. So students are able to participate through VR learning. And that way it allows them to expand their knowledge base and be able to enhance their training experience when they're not on campus as well. We still truly believe in hands-on, so when they are on campus, they are in a lab class or in the shop, being able to do the hands-on component of the program. Next. The licensing and accreditation, that's important, especially for you guys working in the education field. And like we mentioned earlier, I do go out and visit with high schools. We have field trips where we invite schools to come and tour the campus as well. But the reason the accreditation is important is to understand the curriculum, that we meet the rigorous quality that is needed in order to stay accredited, and that we are able to accept FAFSA financial aid grants, scholarship programs, which are really important to students too, to have a means of being able to, pay for their education. So we're accredited through the Commission of Career Schools and Colleges, licensed by this one. Texas Workforce Commission is for our Texas-based schools. Here in Arizona, we do partner with Workforce as well. We're licensed in all the areas that we currently have our schools in, and we do not have any restrictions in terms of recruiting. So I've had students from Hawaii, from Alaska, from Oregon, Washington, California. So even if you're attending today and you're a school that's maybe not in Arizona, we are able to help students through virtual environments. We have some big events where we invite students down, and they're always on a weekend. That way, if they can make it out here to travel with their family and maybe want to see the campus before they register or decide where they're going, we help with that. And of course, we're a member of the American Welding Society, which also offers additional scholarships to students, and the Better Business Bureau. Next. Tools for you. I mentioned this just a few seconds ago, but interactive senior presentations. And again, if you're not here in the Valley, we can, or in Arizona, because I do have representatives in Northern Arizona, down in Tucson as well, Yuma. Of course, we're all over the Phoenix market as well. But we can come out to your school and talk to your students about these industries. And when we present, we don't just promote RSI, although you can tell we're very passionate about what we do. But we really talk about creating a plan for after high school. So it's really a good message for your juniors and seniors because a lot of them, they don't have the urgency or it hasn't quite hit them just yet that they're going to be graduating soon. So we talk about, traditional college, military, all of those options, but of course, highlight what we do. We can do field trips. So if you guys would like to come down, I think my furthest school probably traveled about 6 hours to come visit us. They tacked it in with another event they were going to do down in Phoenix. So they spent the night and then came to us before they were on their way home. But we love campus field trips. We'll do lunch and learn with your staff. So if you're not quite ready to have us come out and talk to your students, but want to learn more about us on an individual level so that you can promote, I have individual counselors that send over students, when they're talking to them, so we can bring out lunch or even breakfast, depending on when you do your staff meetings and host that for you, and remote demonstrations. So we're currently working on a trailer that we have already set up for welding demonstrations. We probably won't have it up and running this school year, but next school year definitely, where we can bring this out to your school and allow students an opportunity to either even use the Oculus, so it's a VR environment, or our actual welding booths that we have created in that trailer as well. So all of that would be filtered through me. And we'll give you guys time and opportunity at the end of this if you have any interest to be able to put your name down, and we'll follow up with you on that. Next. So these are our current campus locations. And like I did mention, we'll be opening one. It's slated to open around September, October of this year out in Atlanta. And that's important to know. And I do highlight this with students when I go out and talk to them, because it's good to be a part of a growing institution as well as an established institution. So, combined between the two, or different brand names and the 5 campuses, we have graduated over 100,000 students, and we're very, very proud of that. So like I mentioned today, I'm highlighting the RSI Phoenix location. You can see the little squares there. So we offer welding, refrigeration, which is all of the HVAC, air conditioning, refrigeration. That's more of our mechanical type program, I like to tell students. And of course, the electrical applications and technologies, which also includes renewable energy, which I love that about it. So every campus offers that. And then 2 additional campuses, Dallas and Jacksonville, Florida, also offer our line worker program. We are looking to get that added to each campus as well. Just has a lot of space requirements. So we're currently looking to expand our Phoenix location. So we'll keep you updated on that. But again, they're part of a large organization. Students have access to all of our campuses, not only as a student, but as a graduate, because we offer refresher training for students to come back and utilize our campus if they want to prepare for a weld test, if they want to just freshen up on their skill set. So we have a lot of great options. It's nice to be part of all of the institutions. Next. So our history, and again, kind of dating back to the reason that we kept our names separate, was simply because of our history. So we've got Tulsa Welding School. They've actually been around 75 years. They celebrated their 75th anniversary last year. And then RSI, with over 60 years, or not over, we're hitting our 60-year mark this year, and we'll be celebrating that on March 15th. And it looks like I did misspeak earlier. I do apologize. So between the two, over 45,000 graduates. So I just came back from one of our big conventions where we're looking to have over 100,000 graduates in the next 5 years. But currently we're sitting at a little bit, and this number is about 2 years dated. So we'll have more to update there. But very proud of what we do, and we'll continue to grow. Next. So we've got a video here that we're going to show you. We're very proud of our students, and here it is. I'll go for it.
Like a dead-end job, really.
Finally, I was like, I can't do it anymore. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to go be a welder.
I've never felt independence like this before.
That first paycheck was like, whew, what do I do with all this?
It's been such a blessing in my life.
I'm very competitive. I want to beat the boys. I can assure you, you can do it.
If I can do it, you can do it too.
I'm a single mother, and I can do it. I know they can do it because women before me have done it.
So I love this video. As you can see, it's titled Her Story. So of course we promote it. Welding is an amazing opportunity for all students, but especially women. And when I go out and talk to schools, I love it when, a girl's eyes light up because she's maybe interested in something like this. And HVAC and refrigeration electrical as well. Yes, these are male dominated industries, but women are very, very good at it. So we do a really good job of promoting that and highlighting students that have had good success. And what's great about when we come out and talk to schools is we have videos that are engaging, not just about our female students, but we have other students so that students can really see themselves in those positions and realize the opportunities they have with these. So right here are those three main programs I've kind of mentioned a couple times. So we'll dive a little bit more into each one, just give you an idea of what it entails. Because if you were like me, again, my knowledge was very limited when I first started working here. But welding, we've got our professional welder, or we call it welding specialist, either way, depending on which school they're attending. HVAC refrigeration, that first one there that says electromechanical technologies, that is a combination of my HVAC and my electrical together. I will tell you that's probably one of the most popular, especially for students who maybe eventually want to own their own company, maybe get a contractor's license, because if they understand both electrical and HVAC, they've got some more opportunities and additional skill sets to add to their resume. Refrigeration is for students who just want to learn the HVAC refrigeration side. And that one is, like I said, very mechanical. The electrical, we've got electrical applications, electrical technologies. Those are really two in the same. They incorporate, like I said, the renewable energy, the solar aspect, and new innovations within the electrical field, including crossover to the electrical car industry, because our students are the ones that wire up all the car charging stations and have a hand in that, as well as fiber optics and some new technology. And then the line worker program, which is going to be more the industrial side. So we'll do next. The OcuWeld. Well, actually, it's the Oculus that all students will receive with a laptop, and this allows them the opportunity to be able to learn in a VR, virtual reality environment, and enhance what they're learning when they're on campus in their lab-based classes. So OcuWeld is what we call the curriculum we developed that we download for the students, so every student gets access to it, and it's a welding simulator. So we do have a video of that. Before we do the video, I will tell you all of our students also in the electrical and the HVAC receive an Oculus. They just use something called Interplay. So it's the same, it's different curriculum, but it's downloaded so that way they have access. So we're going to show you a quick video of what this looks like, so you know that your students will get to be able to engage in this as well. Next. Oh, I guess we don't have a video on there. I do apologize. So, but you can kind of see on the little tablet there, this is the Interplay. So this is the HVAC. There's an air conditioning unit. So students, it looks like it's right in front of them once they put these goggles on, and they'll be able to interact in that environment, both with welding, electrical, and with HVAC refrigeration. All right, sorry, go ahead next. So diving into welding, we'll do next. All right, here we go. So in a 7-month program, it is 80% hands-on. So I always tell those students, if you're truly interested in hands-on, there's only 1 day a week that they're going to be using the Oculus and doing the remote learning where they're kind of learning how to read blueprints and codes. But while they're on campus, they are in a booth welding. So they're going to get a quick introduction. And that's an important thing too, because if you're at a school that does not currently have these type of CTE classes, please don't worry. These students do not have to have any experience. We will help train from day one. And sometimes they come in with an advantage because they've got a clean slate. They don't have any bad habits already established, and we will train them. Now, if they do have experience, that's awesome. There are some options they can test out, or maybe just come in a little bit more advanced and even join our student ambassador program that helps other students. So here you can see there's 3 main processes. It's stick welding, or it's called SMAW, MIG, and TIG, and that translates into the industries of pipeline, which again are oil, water, gas pipelines, structural, that's going to be bridges, dams, high-rise buildings, infrastructure, and thin alloy, that's that aerospace I was telling you about, fabrication. They can even do more artistic type things with that. So it's very cool that in a quick 7 months with 80% hands-on instruction, they'll be able to be prepared and trained in these industries in welding. Next. All right, this is the Oculus video or OcuWeld. So we'll play that real quick for you guys. We'll go ahead to the next slide. We're going to go through these next ones pretty quickly just for sake of time. But the great news is that you guys can indicate if you'd like more information from me individually, and you'll have a few minutes to ask questions. So I mentioned HVAC refrigeration. We've got the EMT, we call it for short, electromechanical, and refrigeration technologies. Next. So refrigeration is anything in HVAC. You can be a service technician, HVAC, restaurant, retail, because these are those walk-in freezers, ice makers, refrigeration units, but it's also air conditioning and heating. So I always explain to students, anything that manipulates temperature, hot or cold, is included in this program. Next. This one is the combination. So it takes that full 6-month program that I just showed you in HVAC refrigeration and adds 3 additional electrical courses. So that way this student gets residential commercial wiring. They will wire up an entire house in the 2nd month of their program. That's how quick and hands-on these are. They'll get solar, and then they'll get everything that's included with the HVAC refrigeration. So facilities engineer, they can work at hospitals, hotels, school districts. Of course, they can do technician work out here in Arizona. It's Parker and Sons, Chaz Roberts. We have career fairs that we do every couple of months, every 3 months to be exact, and we usually have about 35 employers that come out to recruit our students. Next. On the electrical side, again, I mentioned this emerging new technologies. Next, this will break down the classes. They're going to get solar, so renewable energy. They're going to get residential and commercial wiring, so they'll wire up an entire house as well as a commercial size building. Electrical distribution, that's working with transformers and generators. And then emerging electrical, those are those new car charging stations, fiber optics, smart home technology. So it's pretty cool what they can learn in just 7 months. Again, this one's about 60 to 70% hands-on, and we do both a hybrid where they do lab classes and remote learning. Next. Electrical technology is really the same. This one, it's just, there you go, line worker. We don't have that here at RSI. Go ahead. No, you can move forward. Because electrical technologies is the same as electrical applications. It's still a 7-month program. The line worker, again, we're working to get that here, just not quite yet. But know that we have that at our Dallas campus if you have students that are interested, as well as our Jacksonville, Florida site. Next. All right, focus on student support. Our placement rates, they do vary by school, but I can tell you here at RSI, we're over 90%, and we are very, very proud of that, because again, that is the whole reason why these students enter into these training programs, is to get placed out in the field. So even while they're in school, if they do want to or need to work, we can help them. But our main goal is to make sure that they are placed before they exit the program. And again, very, very hands-on, quick training programs for our students. So great benefit. Also smaller school environment. So they're definitely not a number. Our academic advisors, as well as our instructors, give out their cell phone. We stay very engaged with our students. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us, you guys. We'll get to the slide where you've got my contact information. Again, my name is Tamara Walp. I'm the director of high school. Oh, one last thing. This is exciting too. If you have any students, we talked about scholarships, and that's what Imagine America is all about. They can come to any one of our campuses and compete, even if they have zero experience. Just for showing up and participating, they get a minimum $500 scholarship. And then the winner of the competition gets a full tuition scholarship. Runner-up gets, 50% off tuition scholarship. So lots of opportunities. RSI will be hosting our first annual one on March 15th. It is a Saturday. So definitely encourage students to come out, or they can just check out the campus. But again, just for showing up, they'll get a minimum $500 scholarship for participating. So appreciate your time today. I know I just went just a few minutes over, but now we'll open it up for questions from you guys. And then we do have our social media. And then I think she's getting to the point where we'll get to my contact information for you guys as well. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Great, Tamara. We really appreciate your time. You've really gone into a number of interesting issues, and I think it's reflected in the questions. Let me jump into questions real quick.
Okay.
First question: how does the RSI program compare to a local technical or community college program? In other words, what's the difference or the benefits of yours versus theirs?
Yeah. One of the big benefits, I think, would be no gen ed classes. So we get to skip those, where I know most community colleges, not saying their programs aren't great as well, but they do typically have to do some gen eds with that. And the hands-on. I know by far we are the most, especially with welding, 80% in the shop. And then for my HVAC electrical, about 60 to 70%. So the hands-on environment, the expertise that we have from our instructors, I think is phenomenal. We're pretty fortunate. We've had some that have been there over 10, 15 years with us because they're truly passionate about teaching the students. And I think that small school environment really helps out. To give you perspective, RSI is about 1,000 students total, but that's over the length of 4 different schedules. So typically there's only about 250 students on campus at any given time, and we've got about 4 major support teams there to help them.
The
Good
next
question.
question. Okay, the next question has to do with you touched upon it, but why don't you restate it, because I think it's important. It has to do with accreditation. Why is attending an accredited college important?
It's important because you know what you're getting from that. We have to meet a rigorous set of standards. In fact, our accreditation visit is this Thursday, Friday. So we have to report back to them, student placement rates, students' success in terms of graduation rates, all of that. So it keeps us in line as an institution and makes sure that we are on track with, the goals and the milestones that we set in place. And our goal is not to meet that. Our goal is to surpass that. That 90% placement rate that I talked about. I've been in this industry for over 20 years and worked at other schools, and this is by far the highest. And part of it, yes, I'm proud that we are very good at what we do, but it's also because we are fortunate enough to teach in high demand areas where it is not hard to find placement for well-qualified students that are trained.
Yeah, I've known you guys ever since I started in the business in 1999. So you've been around. Now, the other thing you didn't touch upon, you did before, accreditation is also important because of financial aid.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about the financial aid assistance that you have for students that are thinking about coming to RSI. What do you have available to them? Kind of hold their hand, walk them through the process. It can be a little daunting.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we have it set up not only remote, but also in person at campus, because we know some people prefer just to be with somebody. So we will walk students through the FAFSA. That's the Federal Financial Aid Program. Almost all students use it. They don't have to, but it's a really good base because it's a combination of student loans and grants. And anytime, when I talk to students, and counselors know this, but grants and scholarships, that's money you don't have to pay back. So we want to see what you're eligible for with that. If for any reason you're not eligible for the grants, don't worry, because we partner with organizations like Imagine America, as well as we have our own internal scholarships, because our goal is to put our students in the best position possible. So we'll help through the FAFSA, and then based on what that information tells us, we can add additional scholarships. There's external. I had a student get the Micro Foundation Scholarship $8,000 applied to his program. And so American Welding Society. So we have a team that helps walk through all of that because our goal is to maximize grants and scholarships first. Whatever's not covered by that, then there are options for student loans and payment plans. But again, you're looking at far less than a traditional school. It's a one-time thing. You pay for the whole program with the assistance of those other programs that will help walk through. But yes, that's a very important part because most students utilize that to be able to help fund their college education.
Yeah, yeah. Last question. Is there a GPA requirement for admissions to RSI?
I'm so glad you brought that up. There is not a GPA requirement, and so many people are scared about that. And I always tell them it's not that it's not important, because when you're looking for scholarships, that might be consideration. But for us, a lot of students who don't do well in a traditional environment do very, very well in our program, and sometimes can be, our top students. So there is no GPA requirement. They just have to graduate from high school or have completed a GED.
Very, very good. I appreciate it. Before we close, let me go through some administrative discussions, and then before we close today's session, the foundation has compiled and has set aside all of these questions related to admissions, and we'll be sending those out to all the participants that attend today's sessions. We've also recorded this session, and we'll forward that recording to all the registrants. We encourage you to click on it and take another listen to it. The second time through is always, you missed something the first time through, or we'll give you a chance to listen to it again. That's very good. You're going to receive a exit survey from us when you leave today's meeting. We hope you'll take a time to answer the survey. It's really good for not just Imagine America, but also for Tamara, because she gets an idea of where you are and how she might be able to address a follow-up to you and your students. She mentioned presentations. I would take advantage of her and contact her about possibly coming out. I want to thank Tamara for doing an outstanding job in today's presentation, but also we want to thank the participants, the educators, who took time out of their very busy schedules to join us today. We know you've got other demands on your schedule. We appreciate you carving out a little bit of time for us, RSI, to listen to today's presentation. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Tamara, Lauren Cunningham, who manages and directs all these programs, and myself, we want to thank you and hope you have a great day.